Hello, family. Hello, world. My name is Candace, and I am C Saints.
And I am Colette.
And this is called Hey Cuz. This is our show. Basically, we're coming to you from our kitchen table, like literally. We are inviting you to the conversation, to our metaphorical cookout, if you will. We just want to talk about life, things that are happening in the world. And it's funny because how many times did we change the topic for this show? Like a billion.
3 or 4 times.
In the past 24 hours,
yeah.
The topic for the show changed like a billion times. And we stumbled upon Derek Jaxn. Because I woke up today and chose violence. No, I'm playing. I woke up today.
Every day.
He woke up and chose violence. But I woke up today and this was all over my Facebook. And I try so hard to ignore these things. I do.
Can't ignore it.
But here we are. So Derek Jaxn is a social media personality. He's a relationship expert. I'm the type of person, especially when it comes to things that I like to research things, but when it comes to things that are not important, I don't research. So like I don't follow Derek Jaxn, never subscribe to him. So I don't know that much about him. I've just seen things like pop up on my social media or whatever. So man, I don't even know where to start with this.
He's wrote a bunch of books. He's done tours. I don't know if you've heard of Ace Metaphor. He's done tours with him. Stefan Speaks. I don't know if you know the game Mentally Stimulate Me. He's responsible for that game as well. Relationships and friendships and all that as well. So big.
Basically, his brand is being a relationship expert. He has built his brand on that. That is his bread and butter. That's how he makes his money. And that is why I think it's appropriate to say, he's fraudulent, literally fraudulent. Like, this is how he makes his money. So the whole entire time he's preaching at us, so basically what happened is Derek Jaxn, it was exposed past couple of days, he's cheating on his wife. He was cheating on his wife. So the whole time he's preaching at us, and he is like passionate and aggressive about this, pandering to men and women, particularly Black men and women. Mm-hmm. Like, he's like, hey, you need to stop. And no. That is his approach. I would never offend him because his approach is super aggressive. I take everything with a grain of salt. I'm not going to take everything away from him. He has built a great brand for himself. That's awesome. Everybody can't do that. He said some things that are applicable and useful. I can't take that away, but it also doesn't take a PhD to give good relationship advice. Like, don't date a man who cheats. Don't date a man who doesn't work. Don't date a woman who's a gold digger. Don't date a woman who doesn't have, morals and goes for herself. That's common sense. Like, but he's built his brand saying these things, and that's fine. That's fine. But my problem lies in his lies. And that's exactly what this is. Like, you preaching at people. It's not like you're having a dialogue. I believe in having a dialogue. I believe in healing through transparency. So my main issue with him is he's built a brand about giving relationship advice. Meanwhile, he's been cheating on his wife the whole time. If that's not the definition of narcissism and psychotic behavior, please tell me what is. Like, and what was frustrating in the videos is he's like, oh, I don't know how I ended up on this pedestal. I didn't want to be on a pedestal. I'm human. That's always the excuse when people get, pegged out. Pride comes before the fall. And he's religious. He say, pride comes before the fall. It's in the Bible. He want to be like, oh, it wasn't my intention. If it seemed like I made you guys put me on this pedestal, that's my bad. No, sir. No one shoved the camera in your face. Let's keep it 100. You made a deliberate, conscious decision to get in your car day in, day out and shoot these videos. No, it wasn't no candid camera. And there's a running joke with me and my friends and my family, like, Candace wants to be famous. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, it wasn't, if I become famous, it's not by accident. It was on purpose. And because I feel like I honestly have things to share, I want to do good and change people's lives. That's what I want to do, but I'm doing it from a place of honesty. I lead with humanity. I want you to know I'm human because that's how we relate to each other. I'm not going to stand up here and pretend like I'm perfect. That's what he did. So you can't be mad at where you are right now. Cheating is wrong. And I'm not even mad at the cheating because I feel like he could have used that and built his brand on that. Say, I cheated on my wife. This is how we made it through. That is way more honorable than you just preaching at people, meanwhile doing your dirt on the side. That's like, what do you think? Because you already know I was never really, a fan of his for these reasons, and I'll tell you more about that. But what do you feel about the situation?
So for me, I actually went to one of his tours when it was with Ace Metaphor and Stephon Speaks and Derek Jaxn. At the time, I was more so going for Ace Metaphor, but that's a whole nother conversation. So when I went to this tour, he had a tour out in Houston, and this man did not say he was married. So that's
another point I would like to bring up.
That was news to me, but like for you to be married to somebody for 4 years, and he said in his video that he was on and off with her for a total of 12 years. So. And they said they had their issues prior to that marriage with infidelity. Right. So how they even got to the marriage part?
But even still, though, I feel
that's not on her. That's not on her.
Oh, it's on both of them.
I mean, it is to an extent, but him,
he could have built that on being honest.
That's my thing is he wasn't honest. He wasn't authentic. When we went to that tour, it was a lot of, women, you need to stop allowing guys to do this and that to you. Stop allowing guys.
He created where he became the dream man. That's what he wanted to be. And he's the high value man that you should aspire to. He could have, I feel like he should have built his brand on saying, I cheated on my wife before we were married. This is what I did to make it to the altar.
That would be genuine for both males and females that need to hear that, because there's people in relationships, they're going through it and they don't know how to fix it. But if you're genuine about it, that'd be different. But to build it on putting the blame on females by saying you guys need to step up and stop accepting this behavior, and yet you're turning around and shoving the same behavior that you're doing. That's
the Spider-Man picture when they're pointing at each other. Like, you don't see Miley Cyrus and Hannah Montana in the same room.
And then I'm watching the video, and what makes it worse, I mean, the cheating is bad. The cheating really is bad. Yes. The lying is bad. My disgust comes with how he tries to use this to promote, once again, his work, his book.
Himself.
There's no apology in this video. It's just, it's in my book. You guys can read about it. Like, this whole thing is just turns into more money, and more people are still supporting this. Women are still supporting this.
And that's on them. But even when he was talking about, kind of apologizing and saying all the things he had to lose, the first thing that came out of his mouth was business. So that's how you know where his mind is at.
Right. Not his wife, not his kids.
Right. That came after.
I didn't even know he had kids.
That came after. He mentioned the kids and the wife after the business. Mm-hmm. So even in his mistakes, he's thinking about his business. It's a narcissist.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Here's the thing. It's nothing wrong with being single and giving relationship advice. You do not have to be in a relationship to give relationship advice. Is it preferable? Absolutely. But I'm not going to take that away from them. Some of them are not in a relationship, and that's fine. Mm-hmm. But he was. But I didn't know. I did not know this man was married with 2 kids.
Yeah.
I always think it's suspect when it's a married couple and you don't know they're married. And people want to be like, I'm private. I want to put myself public. You don't have to tell about your business. But that's an important detail.
But you do have to at least acknowledge that
when people don't know you're married, it's by design. It's on purpose. There's a reason. Like growing up, if you stopped at our house on a weekday, you would think I was in a single parent home. A lot of people did, because my mom worked there today. No, real talk. My mom worked there today. And my dad worked at night. So depending on what time you stopped by, you saw one or the other. There were a lot of people who were convinced that there were, no, for real, growing up, like there were a lot of people who were convinced that we grew up in a single parent household. And both of them could have easily have perpetuated that. It would have been easy for them to say, deny that they were married. They did not. Of course, like if you came back by on the weekend, people who really knew our family, they knew what our parents were married and, we were a family in the house. But like, my dad could have been like Derek Jaxn and pretend like he was a single dad taking care of his 3 kids. That's a lovely story to tell. Mm-hmm. But he never did that, because people who are proudly married tell you that they're married.
Right.
It's like you go into a cookout and you meet people. By the end of the cookout, I should know, she's single, they married, boom, 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 boom. Like, it don't take rocket science for that. So for him to have been out all these years, I don't know how long he's been doing this social media thing. without digging, because I didn't feel it wasn't deep enough for me to dig. I didn't care to dig. Is he married? Where do you go to school? I didn't care. Mm-hmm. So for me to have never realized that just from watching his content, that's a problem.
Right.
And that's why I always thought it was suspicious. I'm like, this single man out here giving all his relationship advice. That's my thought. But it's even worse than I thought. He's not a single man out here.
Whole life.
He's not a single man giving relationship advice. This man's married with 2 kids. The house, the dog, the fence. Like, and nobody knows. That was by design. What he did was trifling. Period. Like, there's no way around that.
Oh, there's not. But it's annoying because then these people are still supporting him. So of course you already know, like, nothing's really going to stop. He's still going to keep his hustle, which is unfortunate. But
you clearly is still on the front of his mind.
Oh, of course.
Even in this situation.
But what about the wife? What's your thoughts on the wife? Because she said
that video was awkward.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna put that video
to watch. Body language is very important, and that's all I'm gonna say. I watched the live thereafter, and she spoke up a little more, and they explained why it looked the way it did, and blah blah. You can explain things away till you blue in the face, but
there's a lot of body language going on in that video.
And she looked big mad. She sounds big mad, and she has every right to be. It's fresh. It's still fresh. You can say it's a year. A year is not that long.
It happened. We just got it.
I've never been married and had a husband cheat on me, but if I did, me myself personally would be mad a year later. So she's not gonna sit here and talk about, oh, everything's Gucci. God is good. God is great. If he did that for you, all power to him and all power to you. If that's the truth, good for her. Mm-hmm. However, I don't buy it.
We have some more cousins
that want to pop in and
I don't know if I can talk about this situation, man.
Okay, cousins don't want to pop in.
What? But why not? What are we quiet about?
I was just mad because he made his career on pandering to Black community, primarily men and women, and a lot of his videos he contradicts himself too. That's another problem. Mm-hmm. If you really listen, he does contradict himself
because he made a video where he said the cheating was disgusting, and a man that cheats, it's
he said, and I quote,
and then he made another video saying if you cheat one time, you can slide. There's 2 videos of him saying,
he said, I cannot empathize with a man who cheats, and he got real graphic in his details in that video. Meanwhile, he's doing the same thing. That is psychotic behavior. I don't believe in preaching at people, preaching to people. I believe in healing through transparency. And he could have had a way different platform and avoided this issue if he had just led with the truth. Lead with the truth. The same thing when people try to cancel, Jaxn-gate, people were trying to cancel Kirk Franklin. And my opinion on that was, he always was, he's a transparent person. Mm-hmm. So, people always love to say, I'm human. He has always been human. And he has always said, yeah, I make mistakes. This is what I'm trying to do. But on the other hand, Derek Jaxn, he did not lead with humanity. He led with perfection. So when you lead with perfection, that leaves the door open to stumble and fall. And sir, sorry to this man. Do I feel bad? Particularly?
Nah.
If we're gonna be honest,
yeah, we're being honest.
I just don't believe. I feel like you can have a platform and you can lead and reach people and inspire people without pretending to be perfect. And that I strongly believe that, because throughout my life, I was kind of groomed to perfection, getting good grades, neat uniform, neat hair, no strands out of place. Like, we went to Christian schools, we went to church every week. And that's what I'm saying. When I meet a couple who's married, I know they're married, but it's like, I have no clue where their husband or wife is, unless there's like a real reason. Because I know one couple in our church, her husband was in Africa. He was having a hard time coming over, but we knew she was married. It was a running joke. She was like, "You're not married." It was a running joke, but she was married. But there are plenty of couples in the church, and they're married. But to the outside looking in, you would think these people are single, and I have a problem with that. Mm-hmm. I have a problem with that, and it's not. It is also not an accident. It is not an accident that you did not know that these people were married. They did it on purpose. And you even said that when you went to the show. You didn't know he was married, but even the wife said that he
wife?
was just doing his business in the live. She was like, he was going out, making meetings, doing his thing, and not telling me nothing. It's like you let him be single. He's trying to be single, and you let him be single. It goes both ways. I feel bad for her. I'm not saying what he did was right. I mean, it was completely wrong. But at one point, when do you become an enabler?
You know, being 12 years. Man.
Yeah, like when does it turn from being a victim to being someone who enables bad behaviors? Family in the background, like y'all. From the men, y'all have anything to say? What do y'all think?
Well, somebody poked their head in a couple seconds ago.
I mean,
you want to have a seat? I'm
gonna
pull up a chair for you.
Come on the chair.
I know how to, you know.
Let's bring in another cousin. This is St. John the Don. Everybody welcome.
Oh my God.
St. John. We're all St. John in here, but he can have it for right now. Come in. What's your question, sir?
My question was, so you know, men, they have their wives, or whatever, everybody's married or whatnot. But I mean, like, some men do step out, some men don't step out. But I feel like it should be an understanding in the beginning if you know that you don't want to be married in the first place. You know, if you want to have a sister wife, or be wanting to have a polygamous relationship, I think that should be said in the beginning. A lot of people are afraid to even state that. I feel like a lot of men are afraid to lose the female that they're chasing, because if they state that they want a polygamous relationship, they wouldn't be able to have that one female and somebody else. They'll have to find a whole new, relationship.
You can't have your cake and eat it. I don't understand that phrase. If you have cake, you want to eat it. I'm gonna say you can't have your cake and your pie. Like, why do you need cake and pie?
Because it's selfish. They're selfish.
But if you want cake and pie,
there are people out there okay with that.
Let it be known.
You want that cake and butter.
And ice cream. He was really out here preaching. Like, man, if you know you don't want to be with this woman, don't be with her. Don't break her heart. Don't, sir. Like, I'm seriously mind blown right now. Like, I never.
So you really
never
do you think that she
didn't know? Suspicious about him, but it's just still when you break down the situation, and it's just like it's crazy.
So do you think that she didn't know until it broke last year?
She
with that man for
12 years. This was happening before they got married.
That's my point though. Before they got married, but yet she still made it down that aisle.
But that's why I said, when does it come between you're a victim and you're enabling to have bad behavior?
Right.
Are you living a good life? He built a great brand. I'm not taking that away from him.
And I'm not taking away the advice either. It's valid advice.
A lot of women don't leave because of that. I don't know their situation. It could be not. She did leave him last year, apparently.
Yeah.
So eventually she found a breaking point.
And everything too.
4 years later. I mean, everybody has a breaking point. How much nonsense can you take?
I feel like this though. I feel like she knew that he was cheating, and she was cheating too, but he just didn't know.
Because he did bring up her part. They didn't elaborate,
of course,
but he did. He hinted. He hinted. Was she gonna tolerate the hint? No, because she's mad. Like I said, she's still being mad.
Oh yeah. The reason why he was clenching her hand,
he was holding that hand.
She was about to backhand him.
She was like, come on.
She's still
a little beating.
She's still mad, and I can't.
Earrings. She probably had Tim's on in that video.
It's like he dragged her. He's like, I need to redeem myself, babe. Come downstairs. But I didn't comb my hair. Put on a hat. Come down. Like, that's how that conversation went. And they put up that, like, come on, sir. Like, let her have some dick. Like, come on.
You just got her hair done.
The whole video was so awkward. It was uncomfortable. I felt uncomfortable.
That feels like a hostage situation.
Pretty much.
And like,
all I'm saying is, man, you know what you want to be. You know you want that polygamous relationship.
People can grow. People can, maybe he thought,
of course they can.
My thing is like, you grow before you have that government. Like I said, marriage is the only relationship that matters because it is a contract. Like, yeah, you can be dating somebody, but that's cool. But this is marriage under God's law and your state's law and your country's law. You are bound together. and they're religious people.
And
it
you
seems
said
so.
better for worse.
You should have known before you entered this contract what it was. The contract is not going to fix the problem. You fix the problem before you enter the contract. And that's the point I feel like a lot of people miss.
That and just straight up communication, because he said, what he said in there was, I was going through stuff, I was getting high, I was drinking, we were having issues. That doesn't matter, because before you get married, especially doing those vows, you're saying for better for worse. That's not better for worse if we cheat or not. It's when we're having issues, we need to communicate that. So I'm not looking for my needs to be met elsewhere, because there was a lot of people saying my needs weren't being met. I was looking for it other places. Yeah, you need to communicate that with your wife, not what you were talking to in the tour.
I know you said communication, right? But also anybody can communicate what they want and what not. But I mean, I feel like understanding is another one as well. Mm-hmm. If you understand what's going on, if your partner's talking, like if you get communication, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that's another thing.
You need to also understand yourself.
Well, yeah.
From what I heard, from what he said, from what he admitted, he was in no place to have married this woman.
Right.
Because he said it sounded like he had issues with his dad. He's self-medicated. And that's fine. We all have problems. But you need to lay that all out on the table. Give people all the information before you sign a contract. Because, and that's what I'm saying. Like, she's not completely innocent in this either, because it was happening before the marriage.
Right.
But then even when all this was exposed, people were like, oh, it was before the marriage before, and he was gonna let that rumor ride. It was before. He was gonna let that ride. He was not gonna see nothing. He was not.
He wasn't, because he denied it at first, and then he put out the video.
He was not. Hardiness comes before the fall. He was not willing to take that fall. People had to push him down the stairs. He would not go fall. He tripped. He stumbled. Slipping up, falling, and I can't. He wasn't gonna fall. He wasn't going to fall. Facebook and Twitter and Instagram had to push this man down the stairs.
Yep.
It is undefeated.
And rightfully so. Because I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this. 5-0. Choose your heroes wisely. Be careful who you idolize. Because really, you shouldn't be idolizing
anybody. Exactly.
We're all human. And that's the excuse that people want to say. We're all human. So if we're all human, be human. Especially if you want to put yourself on a pedestal, you want to put yourself on a platform, and that's what you did. Social media is a platform. It's a place to be seen. That's the whole point of it. Mm-hmm. So when you put yourself on a platform, you have to be conscious of what you're putting out there in the life that you're living. You can't be preaching one thing and doing another thing, because everything done in the dark comes out to light.
Exactly.
Period. So if you want to say we're human, he's human, we're all human, lead with humanity. If you're someone who really cares about people and you want to help in their healing process, be human. Be human.
And make the false. Because someone else,
I feel like that's going to make you more prosperous in your goals, of reaching out to people. If you lead with humanity, that's how I feel. Because like I was joking around earlier. Everybody know what I'm about. I said it in my album. I said that I'm only here to make you uncomfortable. So if we have a conversation, you feel uncomfortable, it's not a surprise. I said it. I told you. That's the last thing you heard. I said that last for a reason, because that's the thing that you're going to remember. I am only here to make you, if you're not uncomfortable after leaving a conversation, I didn't do my job. Like I feel awkward. Like I feel jittery. I am only here. I woke up like this. I'm only here because people don't grow from comfort zones. I believe that. And in order to really heal and move forward, you need to be transparent. You can't keep your secrets. Secrets kill you.
They do.
I said, you know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel. Lead with humanity. And that's my problem with all these self-proclaimed relationship experts and gurus. They want to act perfect, but it's like some things don't add up. And that's how I always felt about Derrick Jaxn. Like I said, I didn't need to watch all his videos to know that things were adding up with him. Mm. I just felt it. I'm like, this single man, he's real passionate about this stuff. Like, that's weird. Come to find out he's not single. He's married.
With kids.
Which we shouldn't. I mean, I feel like if you're a relationship expert, that would be useful information to know.
Of course.
Like that you can
really tap into that whole audience.
As a married man, to help people understand what it takes to get there. That's the goal. Right. According to him, that marriage is the goal. So if you have that, but clearly he knew his goal wasn't right. That's why he withheld that information.
Maybe they were going through stuff and he
Clearly. Clearly.
Stuff, all right.
His guilt prevented him from putting out a real message.
Because you already know, so he's going to dig into his
This man is married. He withheld that information because he knew what he had was not it. That was not nothing to aspire to. Excuse my slang. I'm going to talk how I want to talk. That was not nothing to aspire to. You see how you slang and big words in the same sentence.
Come on, see,
So I feel like I'm real passionate. You know me.
Nah, you gotta get it out.
Don't let me keep going. So this train just gonna keep going. Keep going.
Nah, keep going. Keep going.
No, because I just every time I would see Derek Jackson, I was just always so uneasy in my spirit.
Here starts standing.
You know why? I just feel like, and I just take it back to church because that's where I grew up. That's my context for seeing the most married people collected in one place in a church. And you know, there's people that you knew, like your brother so-and-so, and you know he's married, but it's like you never see his wife. Or sister so-and-so, you know she's married, but you never see her husband. It's like, that was always weird to me. Like, if you're a proud married person, like in this day and age of social media, and that's why I feel like that privacy thing is nonsense. When a woman gets engaged or a man gets in, like, you don't see not one picture with her like, oh, I just went to Popeyes. Like, you proud to be married. So the fact that I don't know how long he's been on social media, but years later, we're at this point, it's ridiculous. It wasn't an accident. He's not a victim. He did this on purpose. And you just have to deal with the consequences, not use it to promote a book. But if you really care about people, he really could use this as a teaching moment, a teachable moment. He really can. Is he doing that? Not what I've seen.
No, they're both dancing around it. They're both just bringing up God and how God came in and fixed it.
And God gets all the glory. If you really want God to get the glory, you would put everything out there and use this to teach people. You have to put yourself on the line and say, I'm not perfect. I've been through this, that. That's how you touch people. A lot of people say, man, Candace, you seem perfect. I didn't know you was going, till I wrote my books and stuff, I didn't know you was going through all that stuff. And that opened the door for me to reach so many people because I was relatable. Instead of him tapping at the screen, hey you, stop doing that. It's aggressive. And then the fact that you find out that he just been up here cheating on his wife, like that's crazy. It's crazy. He could have used his experience. Both of them could have used their experience together to share and to show how you could heal from a situation like this. Because a lot of people are, like you said, a lot of people cheat. Men and women, a lot of people are going through this. They could have helped a lot of people instead of trying to degrade women and men at the same time. You know, you're not good enough for this. You're not good enough for them. This is what you should do. This is what you should get a man. This is what you should get a woman. You could have used your life experience to really change some lives and also to give God the glory if that's your goal, and which is what he said is his goal. I don't think he went about this the right way. I do not feel bad for this man.
Lies.
This was not an accident. It was not an accident. His career was not an accident. His brand was not an accident. Us knowing Derek Jackson, he changed the spelling of his last name. It was not an accident. It's deliberate. He stepped out of his house where his wife was with his 2 kids, opened his car, locked the door, took out his phone, and yelled at us.
Let
Tell
me
me if I'm lying or lying.
You're levitating right now. So.
Like, he yelled at us and said, you want a man, you need to bring something to, if you want a woman, you need to bring something to the table. I do not empathize with men who cheat. If those aren't the exact words that he said, play it.
Let me play this.
Bring out the receipts.
Real quick, because I ain't got long on this damn video. I saw a video of a guy, and he was talking about, you know, how hard it is to be faithful for a man. If he was a player, if you got a player ass nigga, you got to understand that the shit is difficult for him to be with you and only you, so you should be grateful. I wholeheartedly disagree. You know what I mean?
Wholeheartedly.
A couple of people. But let me say this. I have no sympathy for a man who finds it to be difficult to be faithful after being in a promiscuous lifestyle. And neither should you. You know what I mean? It's not that it's not difficult, because of course it's difficult to change habits. If that was your lifestyle, if that's what you're accustomed to, different women every day, every week or whatever, yeah, it's going to be difficult whenever you go cold turkey and go straight to one woman. Absolutely. But it's not a woman's job to try and compensate for that or to rub us on our belly when we do the oh so difficult task of being with her and only her. Why is that? Because damn it, we made the decision. Unless she put a gun to your head and said, hey, you need to be with me and only me, nobody else. You need to drop all your hoes, whatever.
Drop them.
You have no reason to be looking to her for consolation for being a faithful man. And no, she doesn't. She shouldn't be sitting there acknowledging how hard you work and to keep your dick in your pants. That's an agreement you made.
Graphic.
It all came with being with her and only her. Damn it, you shouldn't have.
You feel the passion right here?
You didn't start bitching about having to keep gas, keep the oil change. Why? Because that's what comes with having a whip. Damn it, if you don't like it, you can fucking walk.
Walk. You can pause that.
Yep.
Quote, open quote, end quote.
He said it.
He got up.
Sympathy for him.
Put on that A hat.
And she should
walk outside. Got in his car. Put the camera on record. Drive. This was not an accident.
Oh man.
Meanwhile, his wife, that nobody knew existed unless you dug it up. The general public did not know this man was married. If I'm incorrect, tell me in the comments. I did not know. Just from looking at somebody's profile, if you are a social media personality, people should be able to tell basic things from looking at your profile.
Yeah, you have kids.
Relationship status, especially if you're a relationship expert, your relationship status should be number one. I did not know that this man was married with 2 kids.
And he said, she should not give him a pat on the back for doing what he signed up to do. And yet, here we are.
And I appreciate, she's not necessarily giving him a pass. She's like, you did dirty. I did not come back until I saw him do the work. And I wasn't going to force him to do the work. So I appreciate her saying that.
I appreciate her saying, I wish she talked more about what transpired.
She said that she's going, they're still building, now they're building their bread together.
Oh yeah. The new marriage.
You see how they switched it up on you.
The new marriage.
You're gonna see more of me, she said. This is what come on now. We ain't Derek Jackson, you ain't low. We see you changing gears now. You built your brand one way, that fails because you was being fraudulent and fake. When you really could have just been honest, and you still would have, I feel like he still would have had the same success. I mean, because look, Steve Harvey, he said he didn't always do the right things in a relationship, but look at him. He's still making books, act like a lady, think like a man. Mm-hmm. He clearly is not the Einstein of relationships, but he's making his money. Derek Jackson could have led with the truth and still had his empire. But now he made a mistake. He fell. He wanted to switch gears, bring his wife in. Oh, whoop-de-whoop. We all lovey-dovey. This is my wife. We gonna tell you how to make it right. We gonna tell you how to work through. You should have did that up front. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm saying. I don't care. I don't want to listen to it. I don't believe you now. You lied. I don't.
Don't subscribe.
I do not believe you, sir. It's too late. It's too late to apologize.
Well, he didn't apologize.
No, he didn't.
He didn't apologize.
And you know what? I don't like those apologies anyway, because it's fake. Because you only apologize because you got caught. Exactly. So save it. You don't always explain because that's your private life. That's your private life with your wife. You don't owe us details. However, when you put yourself out, that's what comes with the territory. You're a public figure, so your life is out in public. So you kind of do owe the people because these people are funding your life.
Yeah,
you put yourself in that situation. If you don't want people in your business, you don't become a celebrity. It sucks. And of course, there's boundaries. But when it comes to stuff like this, you created a platform built on being a relationship expert. And it came out that you was cheating on your wife pretty much the whole marriage. But now you just, oh, please support me. Why and how?
You said not to. You said there should be no sympathy. So anybody that unfollows him off of this, he can't be upset at all.
But he's still gonna be successful, I'm sure, and that's fine too.
There's a whole lot of people.
But I just had to address this, just from, and not to drag Derek. You know, that's not what the whole thing is about. It really is, like I said, going back to sum it up: choose your heroes wisely. Don't idolize people, and lean towards people who lead with humanity. Because anybody who tries to come across nobody's perfect. Right. So if you see someone who's trying to come across as perfect, don't trust them. That's what I'm saying.
Hiding something.
Because time and time again, history repeats itself. There's always a traumatic fall every time. Like, never try to be a perfect person. That is just not the image that you should come out trying to portray, because it's just not going to work. So we know you have places to be. You're a busy woman. We want to thank y'all for coming to our table. Yeah. We hope that you were entertained. We hope that you learned something. We hope that we touched your life, your heart. I hope that I made you uncomfortable a little bit.
Most definitely.
Just a touch. Because, like I said, it's not that I want to make you uncomfortable just to be uncomfortable. I just feel like you can't grow from a comfort zone. You need to wiggle. You need to, expand, enlarge your territory, if you will. You can't do that if you're just comfortable all the time. So if you like this video, if you have questions, drop some comments. We want to hear from you. What do you want to hear the cousins talk about at the table? You know what I'm saying? What dishes do you want to see at the cookout? We want to know. Talk to us.
I got one thing for my men out there.
Huh?
I got one thing for my men out there.
What you got? Go ahead, Danny.
What you talking about?
If you're married, and you communicate with your wife very well or whatnot, and you feel a little temptation, talk to your wife, man. She may be with it or whatnot.
Or she may not be.
Or she may not. But that's just what it is. Talk to your wife. Communicate. Don't snitch.
She might have some other ideas for you.
She may.
Don't be sneaking and geeking.
Communicate. Talk about it. She may be with it or she may not be. She may not be the one for you. She may be. So
it's all about honesty. Know the truth, and the truth sets you free.
Communicate and have the understanding.
You know what I'm saying?
Comprehend it.
He would be living a free lifestyle if he was just honest out the gate. Sorry to this man. Till next time. This was Hey Cuz. I had a great time. I can't wait to come back to the table and eat some more. Let us know what you want to hear about.
Yes.
Because I am ready. I am willing. I always got something to say. So let's do it.
If you want to pop in as well and comment.
Yeah, if you want to join us at the table, let us know. We'll send you the link to call in. We just want to have a conversation. So we thank you. We love you. Bye, family.
I love you, Colette. Love you, cuz.
Bye, guys.